What is up, nerd and nerdettes of the interwebs? It's Speaking of Nerds, and I am Mr. Brady Jones, and by my side, as always, Senor Adam.
Hola.
And today we are going to be talking about Comic-Con 2018. Give a little quick rundown of what happened and discuss it.
Alright, sounds good.
Does that sound good?
Sounds very good.
Alright.
I know nothing of what happened at Comic-Con aside from what you told me in the 5 minutes leading up to making this video.
He was gone for the week end of Comic-Con, so he missed everything.
And yeah.
You're not a true nerd?
No.
No. Alright. Starting off, I guess Marvel obviously wasn't there because they didn't do anything. DC, we got a few pictures of the new Wonder Woman movie. I forget what it's called. It's Wonder Woman 80 something. Anyway, we also got a trailer for Shazam, and I love Zachary Levi with all my heart. He is my favorite actor. I really love Chuck. That was a really good show. Y'all should check it out. Then we got Aquaman, which is Black Panther, but in water.
But he's white.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to get on to that, alright?
Okay.
I'm not going to be the type of guy who's like, hey, for equality you have to pick, this type of race for this actress. The guy who plays Aquaman's brother is too white. Because Jason Momoa, he's a little bit tan. Like, if you're going to pick somebody who's going to be his brother, you have to pick somebody who looks like him, right? What is it?
Wonder Woman 1984.
Okay.
Interesting.
But if you're going to pick somebody to play the brother of somebody who's pretty tan, what is he, like Samoan? I don't know.
I wouldn't say he's that tan. He's relatively white.
He's The Rock's color. He's the same color as The Rock.
Okay.
And The Rock's half Samoan, half black.
Yeah.
And if he's a little bit whiter than The Rock, I'd say he's Samoan.
Okay.
He looks quite Samoan.
Well, race doesn't matter when you're talking about demigods.
No, but if you're gonna cast the brother
gotcha.
of Aquaman, you should have somebody.
Well, he's just the brother who never got out much. He's just really pale.
Oh, okay.
When you're in water, you don't get much sunlight. You're not getting direct UV sunlight to get that tan. He's just the one that's stuck inside.
And why is Aquaman still so tan after all of these years in water?
Because he gets out.
How often?
Often enough to get a tan.
Yeah, but in Batman vs. Superman, the only time he's out is in a place that's really cloudy and is really cold. So,
I didn't see Justice League, so...
Did I say Batman vs. Superman?
You did.
Okay, I meant Justice League.
Yeah.
Man, you were really behind.
Oh, I am. Only on the DC movies.
Yeah.
Still haven't seen Wonder Woman. Still haven't seen Justice League. I did see Suicide Squad, though.
I'm sorry.
It's a good movie.
No, it's not.
It was good because of Will Smith's Deadshot.
It wasn't good.
You're right.
I watched it, and I thought it was really good the first time I saw it. Then I watched it again. I'm like, it's not as good as I remember. It's like Ready Player One. It's not as good as I remember.
Okay.
Let's see, what else? There was DCEU stuff. Andrew Lincoln officially confirmed that this is his last season of The Walking Dead, and we got a little trailer to go along with it. A trailer that you're gonna like this probably. That scene in the comic books where they're lying in the dirt as the walkers walk by, or it's like there's the road and then there's like the little ditch that they're hiding in as the walkers go by, and that's where the whispers come from. They got that scene in there.
Okay.
In the trailer, it's what are their names? It's Eugene and
Dante?
No. What's the
Sadiq?
No. Hosanna? Rosita. That's it. They're the ones that are lying by there.
Okay. I can see where they're going to go with this. They're going to have another interesting twist. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna make some predictions
Ooh.
for this next season.
Haven't even seen the trailer and he's giving predictions.
First off, I want to say that I think it's stupid that they're gonna kill off Rick, because what you can say, you like him or you don't like him. The point is, he's the main character of The Walking Dead, always has been. But the whole point, and they get into this in the comics a little more, and it makes a little more sense when they say it when he's with Andrea instead of Michonne. They've replaced Andrea with Michonne in the show, but like the whole point is Rick doesn't die as much as he would love to because he's lost so many people. He doesn't die. He's a survivor and he just survives. No matter what happens, he's gonna survive. That's just the way it is. And when you get rid of that, like there's just it adds an interesting twist. Like even the people you think are gonna survive are gonna die, but like there's always going to be someone who survives. So there's that one person who always survives. Why not make it Rick? And it makes sense that he's the one who's going to do it. He's going to survive. And it's just stupid that they're going to kill him off.
Oh, we don't know if he's going to die.
He's going to die.
He's probably going to die.
Okay, so here's... Okay, spoilers coming up in this.
Oh. 4? 4?
For the next season of The Walking Dead.
Okay.
Or the comics. But
okay.
What really instigates the fact that the Whisperers are a huge threat is they establish their territory. Like they draw the border by taking several characters and cutting off their heads and putting them on poles, and then that's the border, is all their heads. So in the comics, they kill off Rosita and Ezekiel in that. But what I'm thinking is that they're going to kill off Rick and any other major characters they've said who are going to leave this season.
Which is Maggie.
Yeah, I could see them killing off Maggie also. I really don't like... I haven't finished season 8, so I don't know if Negan survives the war or not. If he does, I really want to see Maggie stay in, because that adds it's a really interesting story arc right now in the comics, is the fact that Negan has proved himself to be semi-trustworthy, so they send him out, they give him this little house out in the country, and then they have this whole arc of Maggie coming to grips with the fact that he's still alive, and he's out there just as a normal person.
I think they're doing that. I think they're doing that now, but they're just not doing it. Like, they're just having him be in prison instead of in a cabin.
Well, he's in a prison.
Yeah, but
there's a huge time jump.
I know, I got that. But
he doesn't come out of the prison officially for good until after the war with the Whisperers.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying,
New World Order.
In the show, I think they're just gonna go ahead and be doing that right now.
Okay.
Maggie coming to terms with him just still being alive in general.
See, I don't like that.
Because
I think that's too soon.
What they're doing is I'm gonna go ahead and spoil this for you because you've had enough time.
Yeah, fair enough. I read the comics.
All right. So. At the end of the season, they slit. Spoiler alert for all you who haven't seen it. Last season, Rick slit Negan's throat and then basically told his people to save him.
Yeah, that's what happens in the comics
and then,
because he's like, hey, like we could actually have peace between our groups. We could, and then Negan's like, oh yeah, we totally could, and then he's like, shh, plot twist, and then.
And then Maggie was freaking out. And then basically the season ended with Maggie talking to Jesus and to Daryl, basically saying, we followed Rick all along, but now, like, that's going to change or something. Basically kind of setting up, like, they went from this war to now they're, like, kind of having a civil war. Like, the trailer didn't really show much of that. But, like, that's how it felt, like, leading off of the last season.
I don't like that.
I liked it. I like it.
I know where they go, though, in the comics, and I don't like that.
I like it.
Okay.
Alright. So, Johnny Depp also tried to be Tom Hiddleston by basically coming out in character as Grindelwald and just giving a speech in character. And it was really weird because all the people were on stage, whereas when Tom Hiddleston did it as Loki, it was just Kevin Feige on stage with, I think, Chris Hardwick. and they were both just like left as soon as he came on stage, and then he left and they went back to a normal panel. When Johnny Depp did his Grindelwald, everybody was on stage and just felt really awkward. James Gunn got fired. It was that. So apparently he made some inappropriate jokes on Twitter 10 years ago, and all anybody knows is that it was like some alt-right people who got really upset because he either made fun of Trump, or it's because they let go of Roseanne, who tends to be more Republican, I guess. I don't want to use the term conservative because she's not really conservative. She's more libertarian, which is becoming more Republican. So she leans more to the right, and then she got fired, or it's because James Gunn made fun of Trump on Twitter a lot, or it's both. Anyway, some people basically pulled up tweets from 10 years ago that were obviously jokes. I've read the tweets, they're obviously jokes. And basically had him fired for it. And they were very inappropriate. Some of them were very pedophilic. Is that a word?
Pedophilic.
Yeah. But anybody who read the tweets could tell that they were clear jokes. He wasn't actually being serious. And he has since apologized for them. He apologized during the press tour for the first Guardians, and now he's apologizing again. And yeah, it's really weird that this is where... And another thing that happened, it didn't happen over Comic-Con weekend, but I feel like it's something that is going to connect to this James Gunn, and it's why what I'm going to bring up is I don't look at it as a good thing at all, because the Disney-Fox merger is official. It's officially been approved. It's officially going down. Everything's going to be settled by the end of the year is what it's looking like. And now, James Gunn getting fired by Disney, now he has one less place to work. And anybody else who makes a joke and 10 years down the line it gets pulled back up, which is everybody. Every comedian goes through that phase where they're like, oh, I'm going to be really edgy, and I'm going to make these really, inappropriate jokes, and people are going to think it's funny, and nobody thinks it's funny, but it's going to get brought up 10 years later, and now somebody's going to get fired, and now they're going to have less and less places to work when all these people are buying up each other's studios.
Simple solution is just bring James Gunn back. Probably won't happen, but...
And here's the other thing that I have to think about it, like, it's not even financially reasonable. Because, yes, you'll get those headlines of, oh, James Gunn did this, and James Gunn said this, and James Gunn said that, and it's going to be all over CNN, Fox News, everybody. But the thing is, your average movie-going fan isn't going to care.
Yeah.
Like, you might have, that suburban mom who's like, oh, this is terrible, I don't want to go see that, and that's fine. But now what you've done is you've put yourself in a very similar position to what Kathleen Kennedy has put herself in with Solo. And that is, you put somebody on there who the fans liked. In this case, the fans loved James Gunn and his humor in the Guardians movies.
Yeah.
Now you've taken him out, and it doesn't matter who you could put in. You could put in Martin Scorsese or Quentin Tarantino, and the fans are going to crap all over it, because it's not James Gunn.
Yeah.
It could be the best movie of all time.
That's true.
The fans are going to crap on it. And it's going to have an effect in your sales, because just like how it affected Star Wars, their sales, but that also had to do with The Last Jedi, but it also had to do with this whole controversy.
Yeah.
You're not going to be making as much money as you could. I feel like you're making less money, or potentially making less money, with this, because movie fans, or the people who are really understanding this, aren't gonna forget this as much as, you know, a suburban mom is gonna forget, because the movie's still in pre-production.
Yeah.
I think it's either in pre-production or it's in production. It's not in post yet though. But there is. But a suburban mom isn't gonna remember this whole controversy a year from now, or 2 years from now. Whereas movie fans like us, we're gonna remember it, and that could affect whether or not we buy the sales. At least opening weekend, which is where they make the most money.
Yeah.
Because if somebody like if somebody just decides, hey, I'm not going to go see this opening weekend, I'm going to wait till next weekend, and something else bigger and better could come along next weekend and stop you from seeing Guardians, and then it should just be to keep repeating, depending on what, like if they did that in the summer, and that's a huge possibility if they did in their usual like May or even if they had it slated for July, then that would really affect their sales.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it's. I think it's bigger risk to create this whole controversy than it would be to just keep him. What do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't really have anything else to add to that, but yeah.
I think that's about all that really happened on Comic-Con. It wasn't really that eventful of a Comic-Con. Next year is going to be bigger because next year is going to be right after Phase 4 or 3. Are we in 3 or 4?
End of Phase 3.
End of Phase 3. And I know, and I can almost guarantee that next year at Hall H, Kevin Feige is going to do what he did a couple years ago, and he's just going to come out and he's just going to be like, hey, this is all the movies we have for Phase 4. Just do that again like he did a few years ago, because that's when it's going to be right after Infinity War Part 2 or whatever it's being called.
Yeah.
And people are going to be really hyped, really excited, and that's my prediction for next year's Comic-Con. So yeah, comment below what your favorite moment of Comic-Con was, what you were really excited to see, what you were disappointed to see, and what you want to see next year.
Yep.
So yeah.
Alright. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Facebook at Speaking of Nerds, and follow Brady on Twitter at Mr. Brady Jones. As always, recommend this show to your family and friends and even your enemies. And until next time,
Adios.
amigos.